Ayo, what is groovy? What is good? It's your boy Papa Capes, and we are back with yet another Raid Shadow Legends video. Thank you so much to Raid for sponsoring this video and for hooking us up with our own download link that you guys can find in the description down below. Using that link directly supports me and directly supports the channel. If you choose to start with that link, you'll be greeted by Tholan Falbeard right off the bat, and as you progress just a little bit, you'll meet the likes of Ugo, Tagore, and Mausoleum Mage. And right now you can secure a second legendary on your account for free by using code SUPERVICTORY for Pelops the Victor or code WRATH for Padraig. Get started now. It's a fantastic time to start a new journey or your first journey in Raid Shadow Legends. Let's get into the video. So I think I finally understand something about Raid that I didn't fully understand a few months ago. The mid-game of Raid Shadow Legends. And I don't mean what level makes you mid-game, how much power you need to be in mid-game, or which Doom Tower stage you should be on. I mean, what mid-game actually feels like. Because for the longest time, I thought progression meant pulling better champions, building stronger teams, clearing harder content, repeat. I don't think that's actually the difficult part of the game anymore. When you start a new account, the decisions feel obvious. Get your starter champion to level 60, farm the campaign, get some decent gear, then build a clan boss team, get Arbiter, push faction wars. You don't have 40 champions all competing for your resources. If you pull somebody amazing, you probably build them immediately. There weren't really that many wrong directions because there weren't really that many directions available. Then all of a sudden your account gets messy. And this is where I think mid-game begins to feel completely different. Like suddenly, all of a sudden you find yourself with Crixia, Embreeze, Lydia. Then you also find yourself with Quintus, Kamir. These are all champions that are ready to summon. And then we go back to the roster and you see Hagaba over here. You also see Talina, you see Masahiro, and then you also see Valorin and plenty of older champions, other champions still waiting. And yes, that might sound and look amazing having all of these champions at your disposal. But now every good pool creates yet another decision. Getting a good champion doesn't solve a problem anymore. Sometimes getting a good champion actually creates another problem. Who gets the books? Who gets the gear? Who gets the masteries? Who gets the silver? Who actually makes the team? I honestly used to think that champions were the progression in Raid, but this is probably the biggest thing that has changed for me. I used to think and see legendary champion equals progression. Mythical champion equals massive progression. New champion automatically equates to my account is stronger. But that's not necessarily true. A champion sitting at level 50 with no books, even at level 60 with no books and mediocre gear, doesn't change anything on my account. Owning potential and actually converting that potential into progress are two completely different things. Crixia, for example, is an absolutely insane pull. Lydia as well. Lydia is an incredible milestone to reach on your account. Quintus took an insane amount of grinding through Live Arena, but none of those champions automatically improve my account simply because I own them. So what I've established is that mid-game is more about choosing what not to do. When you're going through the early game, you're often thinking to yourself like, what should I do next? What should I do next? Okay, I'm on to this bit of content. I'm on to that bit of content. But in the mid game, at least for me, the question is more, what should I not do now? Where should I not invest my resources? What should I maybe take a step back from and maybe skip? Like, do I chase this fusion? Do I save shards? Do I build this legendary? Do I build an epic that solves an immediate problem instead? Do I push Hydra? Do I work on gear? Do I spend silver? Or do I simply ignore an event completely? I think, and I've learned this recently, I think one of the biggest signs of progress is becoming comfortable saying no. A good champion can still be the wrong build. A good event can still be the wrong event. A fusion can be good, but can still not be necessary. A shiny reward doesn't automatically deserve resources. And that segues into the next section perfectly. Goals, when you're in the mid-game, stop being linear. If we look at the recent milestones that I've hit, clearing Amius on normal for the first time, doing Doom Tower hard for the first time, doing Grim Forest hard a couple of times, unlocking Lydia, getting Quintus from achieving 4,000 live arena points, finishing our first ever classic fusion, finishing the Khamir fusion, earning our first mythical in Embreeze, and then pulling our first mythical in Crixia. None of these happened in a neat and tidy order. My account didn't suddenly level up in one day. Different walls just started cracking at different times. Sometimes one piece of gear matters more than a champion. Sometimes understanding one simple mechanic matters more than another champion at level 60. Sometimes a random relic helps you finish faction wars. Sometimes the answers you're looking for are already sitting on your account. And I mean, what I think is the weirdest part about all of this is knowledge of the game and the mechanics and synergies and knowledge of raid in general is starting to matter a lot more than the champions I have on my account. But I genuinely think that my account is at a place where it's stronger than my ability to use it, if that makes any sense. But I mean, I genuinely think that's the case. Like my account feels that it's at a place where it's stronger than my ability to use it properly. It really is. It's a weird thing to say, but I really think that's where we're at. And that means that for me, the next milestone isn't necessarily pulling more champions. It's rather understanding kits of said champions that I've already got access to, understanding team synergy, learning more boss mechanics, looking into the boss's kits, looking into how they work, looking into how their skills rotate, and then also improving my builds on my existing champions. Understanding speed, knowing which debuffs actually matter, and knowing why a team works. Not just that it works, but why? So I'm starting to realize that the biggest upgrade available for my account right now might actually be me getting better at the game. And that then segues into the next part that I've been thinking about, that resources, and I've mentioned this in a couple of recent videos, resources matter so much more. So much more. So mid-game directly equates to like resource management being a highlight on your account. Books suddenly matter so much more. Silver disappears. Gear gets complicated. Gear also starts moving between a few champions. Energy also has opportunity cost, and shards become event resources, not just summon buttons. Like, I've been on a shard discipline journey and I've failed tremendously, but if I look back, I'm still so much better than I used to be. Granted, I make tons of mistakes. I mean, look at my shards right here. I've got 14 ancient shards, 9 voids, 2 primals, and 2 sacreds. I opened 4 sacreds outside of an event because it was a 1+1, and I thought maybe I'll get lucky. And I also opened like 17 or 18 ancient shards. So granted, I understand that I'll never be perfect in this department, but I need to be aware of the fact that these resources, shards specifically, are event resources, not just summon buttons. And that's something that I need to be a bit more disciplined with moving forward. But I mean, I'm sure we've all had questionable shard pools, and that's just something that we need to learn from and put behind us sooner rather than later. The most important part is that I'm improving and I'm aware of this fact. A resource sitting unused isn't always wasted. Sometimes it's actually an option that you've protected for later. So yeah, I think genuinely this is what mid-game raid actually is. It's not a specific dungeon. It's not the level of your account. It's not your power. It's not whether you have Lydia or Arbiter or Mithrala or any mythical on your account. It's when the game stops giving you obvious answers. It's when your roster becomes good enough that multiple things could work on your account. Your resources become limited enough that you can't do everything. And the decisions that you make on your account become way more important than the champions you pull. And I think that's why mid-game raid can feel frustrating at times. Your account's strong enough to have options, but not strong enough to ignore the consequences of choosing the wrong ones. And I still consider myself firmly in this stage, firmly in the mid-game of raid. Yes, granted, I've broken through some walls, but there are still massive areas for me to improve on. I still cannot one-key Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. We 100% 2-key it every single time, but we still need to get to a place where we can 1-key Ultra Nightmare. I still need to do some research into Hydra. I think that one of the heads are called a Mischief Head. I think maybe there's a Poison Head. Maybe there's a Fear Head. I don't know enough about Hydra. I haven't read through the boss's kits. I just put teams in here that work. And there's one of my teams in Brutal. We do 58 mil. There's one of my teams in Hard. We do 29.5 mil. And one of my teams in Normal. where we do 21.4 more. I know the damage we're doing because I can see it, but I don't know why they're doing the damage. I don't know which heads they're focusing on. I just do quick battles. I don't understand it, and that's lazy on my side. So this is something I need to look into. Diligently study Hydra, what the boss heads do, and why these teams work and why some teams don't work. And then on to the next bit of content that I need to get into is now that we finally finished normal faction wars, there's hard faction wars. I haven't even tried to attempt this as yet, not once. I still am just in this habit of going through my keys in normal, and I haven't even tried doing hard as yet. Granted, that could be maybe because, like, I don't know if Polarifier hard is any good or not. Need to do some research in a kit, but this is content that I need to go through, and this will help me understand my champions better. This will help me understand team synergies that might work in my account better, and it's a completely new type of content. It's no longer just finish with all 5 of your team alive. It's now beat the stage, 5 champions with no losses, but I also have to place 10 plus provoke debuffs. Do I even have anybody here that places provoke? I don't know because I haven't checked yet, but it just changes the way that the content needs to be done, which will only benefit me in the long term. Understand more about my champion roster that I have access to. And then we still have to work on champion builds on the account. Like, granted, I've built champions like Talina, but have I built it to the best of what I can on the account? I don't think so. I built Crixia. Is she really built as best as she could possibly be? I don't think so. Embreeze, I'm kind of happy with his build, but does it mean that he's in the best build? No. Lydia, I'm not happy with the build at all. I need it to be way faster. Hagabah, same thing here. I don't even have a proper build on her. I'm still testing. I used Hagabah recently to help with Bommel. Hagabah actually came in clutch, finishing Bommel in Hard Doom Tower, so that's really cool. But again, I still need better gear on my account. I still need to farm gear. I still need to understand exactly what the optimal gear looks like. I know, and it will click when it happens, but that doesn't mean that the gear on my account is perfect. Then obviously the ever elusive Lady Quillen. We need to secure her so that we can fuse Lady Mikage. And these are all things that I still need to achieve on my account. But the main difference now is I no longer feel like I'm waiting for raid to give me progression anymore. I feel like the progression is already sitting on my account and I just need to figure out how to unlock it. So I asked you guys, when did you feel that you actually understood mid-game raid? Was there like a specific moment that this happened? And I think more importantly, another question for you all. What do you think separates early game thinking from mid-game thinking in raid? Not account level, not player power, actual mindset of early game players and mid-game players in raid. And if you think I've completely misunderstood it entirely, tell me. That's literally half the reason I make these videos, so that we can have this discussion in the comments section right after these videos go live, so that I learn, maybe some other people learn that are less experienced than us, and everybody can just use it as a learning archive for raid content, and that's what I love the most. So yeah, I think that comes to the end of it. This is something that can be discussed in depth, but let's call it there. I'll see you guys in the comments right after this video goes live. And yeah, thank you so much to Raid for sponsoring this video and for hooking us up with our own download link that you guys can find in the description down below. Using that link directly supports me and directly supports the channel. Happiness is a choice. Kindness is free. Leave your mark, yo. Peace out.